Consistency beats motivation because motivation is emotional, and emotions change with the weather, the mood, and the circumstances. One day you wake up feeling inspired, ready to conquer the world, and the next day you feel tired, discouraged, and unsure of yourself. If your success depends on how you feel, then your future is unstable. Grinding every day means you make a decision that no matter how you feel, the work still gets done. You stop waiting for the perfect moment and start honoring the commitment you made to yourself. Winners don't ask, "Do I feel like it today?" Winners ask, "What needs to be done today?" Most people love the idea of success, but they hate the daily process that leads to it. They want the results without respecting the repetition. But repetition is where transformation lies. When you show up every single day, even when you are tired, bored, or frustrated, you build discipline. Discipline is stronger than motivation because it doesn't require excitement. Discipline moves you forward when motivation is silent. That's why grinding every day matters. It trains your mind to work even when your heart isn't in it. And that's the difference between average and elite. There will be days when nobody notices your effort. No likes, no praise, no applause. Those are the most important days. Anyone can work hard when the spotlight is on, but true grinders show up when the room is empty. Consistency in isolation creates confidence. When you know you've been putting in the work daily, you stop needing validation from the outside. You start believing in yourself because you've proven to yourself over and over again that you don't quit when it gets uncomfortable. Motivation fades when progress feels slow. You grind for weeks, months, sometimes years, and it feels like nothing is changing. That's where most people stop. They confuse delayed results with failure, but consistency compounds. Every small action stacks on top of the last one. You may not see growth today, but something is happening beneath the surface. Just like seeds grow underground before they break through the soil, your daily grind is preparing you for a break through you can't see yet. If you quit too early, you never give consistency the time it needs to work. Grinding every day also reshapes your identity. You stop seeing yourself as someone who tries, and you start seeing yourself as someone who finishes. Your habits become your reputation with yourself. When you consistently do what you said you would do, your self-respect grows. And with self-respect comes confidence. Confidence doesn't come from hype speeches or temporary motivation. It comes from knowing you did the work when it was hard, when it was inconvenient, and when nobody was watching. In the end, consistency beats motivation because consistency is controllable. You can't always control how inspired you feel, but you can control your actions. You can choose to grind today and then make the same choice tomorrow. Day by day, those choices separate you from the crowd. Not in one dramatic moment, but in thousands of quiet decisions. That's how greatness is built through daily grind, daily discipline, and an unbreakable commitment to show up no matter what. Excuses kill dreams faster than failure because failure can teach you, but excuses blind you. When you fail, you still have a chance to grow, to adjust, to come back stronger. But when you make excuses, you convince yourself that the problem is outside of you. And the moment you give your power away, your progress stops. Grinding every day means you stop explaining why you can't and start focusing on how you will. No more stories. No more justifications, just work. Most people don't lack talent, intelligence, or opportunity. They lack ownership. They blame their past, their environment, their finances, their age, or the people around them. And as long as you're pointing fingers, you're standing still. Grinding daily requires brutal honesty with yourself. You look in the mirror and say, "It's on me," and not on the coach. Not on the system, not on the situation, on me. That mindset is heavy, but it's powerful, because once you own the problem, you also own the solution. Excuses feel good in the moment because they protect your ego. They give you a reason to stay comfortable. But comfort is expensive. It costs you your future. Every excuse you make today becomes a habit tomorrow. And habits don't just shape your schedule, they shape your destiny. When you allow excuses to live in your life, they quietly lower your standards. You start accepting less effort, less discipline, and less accountability. Before you know it, you're far from the life you once dreamed about, wondering how you got there. Grinding every day means you don't wait for perfect conditions. Perfect conditions don't exist. There will always be something working against you: stress, fear, lack of support, lack of resources. The grind teaches you to work anyway, to move anyway, to push anyway. You don't need everything to line up. You just need the courage to start and the discipline to continue. Progress doesn't come from having fewer problems. It comes from refusing to let problems stop you. Failure says, "You tried and it didn't work." Excuses say, "You didn't try and here's why that's okay." That's the danger. Failure can motivate you. Excuses pacify you, and a pacified mind never grows. When you grind every day, you accept failure as part of the journey, not as a reason to quit. You fall, you learn, you adjust, and you get back up, but you never sit down and make peace with staying the same. When you eliminate excuses, something powerful happens. You build respect for yourself. You trust yourself. You know that when things get hard, you won't run, you won't complain, you won't look for an exit. That trust turns into confidence, and that confidence fuels your grind. You stop needing motivation from others because your discipline speaks louder than words. At the end of the day, dreams don't die because people fail. Dreams die because people get tired of being uncomfortable and start making excuses to justify quitting. Grinding every day is a declaration that no excuse is stronger than your purpose. You may fail, you may struggle, you may move slower than you want, but you will not stop, and that decision changes everything. Your sacrifice today secures your future because nothing valuable is built without giving something up. Grinding every day forces you to make hard choices, and those choices reveal how serious you are about the life you say you want. Everybody wants success, but not everybody is willing to pay for it. The price is time, comfort, and sometimes even relationships and habits that no longer serve you. The grind asks one simple question every day: how bad do you really want it? While others are sleeping in, you're up working. While others are scrolling, you're studying, training, planning, and sharpening your craft. That sacrifice doesn't always feel heroic. Most days it feels lonely, it feels boring, it feels repetitive, but that's where separation happens. You're not grinding to look busy, you're grinding to build something that will outlive the moment. Short-term pleasure feels good now, but long-term discipline pays you back with interest. Grinding every day teaches you to delay gratification. You stop chasing quick wins and start committing to real growth. You understand that missing a party today could mean owning your time tomorrow. You understand that saying no now could mean freedom later. This mindset shift is powerful because it moves you from living for the moment to living with intention. You stop asking what feels good right now and start asking what moves me closer to my vision. Sacrifice also sharpens your focus. When you grind daily, distractions lose their power. You become selective with your energy because you realize it's limited. Not everything deserves your attention, and not everyone deserves access to your time. The grind teaches you to protect your purpose. You stop explaining your sacrifices to people who don't share your vision. They might call you obsessed. They might call you extreme, but later they'll call you successful. And by then, the results will speak louder than any explanation ever could. There will be moments when the sacrifice feels unfair, when you're doing everything right and still not seeing results, when you're giving up comfort and still facing resistance. That's where faith in the process matters. You have to believe that the grind is doing something you can't see yet. Just like training in the dark prepares you for the spotlight, your unseen sacrifices are shaping your future strength, skill, and mindset. Nothing is wasted when it's done with purpose. Grinding every day also builds appreciation for what you earn. When success finally shows up, you won't take it lightly because you remember what it cost. You remember the early mornings, the late nights, the doubts, and the discipline. That memory keeps you humble and hungry. People who don't sacrifice often don't sustain success because they don't respect it. But when you've paid the price, you protect what you've built. In the end, your future self is depending on the sacrifices you make today. Every disciplined choice, every uncomfortable decision, every moment you choose the grind over convenience is a deposit into the life you want to live. You may not feel the reward immediately, but trust this. Nothing you sacrifice in the grind is lost. It's stored, multiplied, and waiting for the right moment to return. Pressure creates power because growth only happens when you are stretched beyond what feels safe and familiar. Grinding every day puts you under pressure, and that pressure forces you to evolve. Comfort never demanded more from you, but pressure does. It exposes your weaknesses, challenges your discipline, and tests your commitment. Most people run from pressure because it feels heavy, but grinders understand that pressure is not the enemy, it's the training ground. Every day you grind, you're conditioning yourself to handle more responsibility, more expectations. More obstacles, pressure builds mental toughness the same way weight builds muscle. At first, it feels overwhelming. You doubt yourself, you feel like quitting, but over time, what once felt impossible becomes normal. That's how power is developed through repeated exposure to difficulty. You don't wake up strong. You become strong by showing up under pressure again and again. Pressure also reveals who you really are. When things are easy, everyone looks committed, but when the grind gets hard, when results are slow and energy is low, your true character shows up. Do you complain or do you adapt? Do you fold or do you fight? Grinding daily forces you to answer those questions with action, not words. And every time you choose to push through, you build confidence rooted in experience, not hype. Many people crack under pressure because they haven't trained for it. They want success, but they haven't built the habits required to sustain it. The daily grind prepares you for moments that matter. When opportunity finally comes, it doesn't feel shocking. It feels familiar. You've already been living under pressure. You've already been doing the work when it was uncomfortable. So instead of panicking, you perform. You don't rise to the occasion, you fall back on your preparation. Grinding every day also teaches you how to stay focused in chaos. Pressure brings noise, doubt, criticism, fear, and distractions. The grind trains you to lock in anyway, to stay disciplined even when your emotions are loud. That ability becomes a superpower. While others lose clarity under stress, you gain it. You learn how to execute when it counts, and that skill separates leaders from followers. Pressure is uncomfortable, but it's also purposeful. It's shaping your mindset, sharpening your skills, and strengthening your resolve. Every hard day is adding weight to your character. Every challenge is increasing your capacity. What feels like stress today is actually preparation for tomorrow. The grind is not trying to break you, it's trying to build you. In the end, power doesn't come from talent alone. It comes from endurance, discipline, and resilience developed under pressure. When you grind every day, you stop fearing pressure because you understand it. You welcome it because you know that every ounce of pressure is turning you into someone stronger, sharper, and more capable than you were yesterday. That's the power of the grind.